Let me take a shot view. We're just looking at how we're doing. Okay. So, is this?
Industry, I think that's it's a big title or a serious title that I think when you put in your work to actually achieve that title, I think it's not just handed to you. I think you actually prove yourself that, hey, I actually earned what I'm doing. So for somebody of my stature coming from a country like Belize, where again, there's no type of wineries out there. We are not known for wine grapes nor any sort of thing to do with wine. But me making my way here and actually delve into the wine business, it was kind of intriguing. And a person of color, because I'm an African Latino, is what I consider myself. So I'm African first. My dad is from African descent. My mom is mestizo, which is kind of Spanish. So definitely I'm an Afro Latino. So for me, I think coming here and working in Lodi, at the young age, it was hard to see any racial injustice at that level, because I was here as a young kid just going through life, man, just enjoying. Hey, I'm working at a winery, not even care about wine. But as you progress and you start getting a little bit more into life and start seeing things the way they are, definitely you see some type of a differentiation when it comes to skin color and when it comes to the demographic you come from. You definitely start seeing it a little bit more. You start paying attention. Myself working in Lodi, I think this community have, for me, I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I feel like I've been embraced here because, for one, the Felton family, which owns Klinker Brick, from day one, me being the winemaker was never even a question. I was welcome with open arms. So to me, that right there speaks volume of that family. It speaks volume of, look, we are a growing brand, and we think you have the knowledge to take us to the next level. They didn't see my skin color as a deterioration from that. They just look at what I can do for them and what I brought to the table, and I think that helped. Outside of my job, though, outside of my own little bubble, which is the Klinker Brick family. Outside of that, I travel to other tasting room within the area or other place. And yes, you can see a little bit of that happening as well. You go somewhere to Napa, I definitely experienced that. So there is some of that still there. And again, I think Lodi is doing a good job of trying to not have that been a problem, but I've seen it. I've seen some of that here as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. My parents came from Michoacan, Mexico, down by the ocean, actually. But came here. My mom was actually 17 when she immigrated here on her own. My father came a little older, but they've since become naturalized citizens. And we've set up roots in Modesto. Most of my family works in almonds in Modesto, or almonds as we're told to call them. And so that's kind of how we've developed. I'm the first one to kind of foray into a different agricultural product, and it wasn't planned. As Latinos, we're rarely ever experiencing wine. And some of that is our own doing, just because we're very familiar with certain things, but the industry as well, doesn't necessarily reach out to the Latino community. So it's a little bit of everything. So it's been exciting for me to kind of jump into this mix and be a part of it. Like Joseph says, man, we're here to wine make. I'm not here to Mexican wine make, but I'd be lying if we don't have that in our minds sometimes, of course. But man, how fatiguing would it be if every day I'm worried about how my winemaking affects my Mexican culture? I mean, it just doesn't work that way. But yeah, we go into Lodi events and we stand out, especially as a winemaking team. We walk in, we're an odd-looking fellas. But just to echo what Joseph said, I've never felt within the winemaking community any kind of racial discrimination. It was interesting. I was worried about that. But any pushback is because I'm an out-of-town guy, and they don't know if you really care about Lodi. They have roots here. They've been stewards of this land for a long time. And I think once they realize that you're here to do good winemaking and work hard, that's all that matters. And so we kind of all participate in that. So that has been my experience so far.